Hey everyone, today I would love to give you your first look at the new DJI Mic Mini. Now this is not a new version of the DJI Mic 2, rather it's a new alternative, smaller version that you can pick up. And it really is tiny. Just look how small this microphone is. So if you were someone who thought the DJI Mic 2 was a little too noticeable when it was attached to your shirt or jacket, this new system might be right up your street. Now, in saying that, alongside the benefits of that smaller size and some new and improved features, it does also lack some features of its larger sibling, the DJI Mic 2. So today I would love to go through the differences between the two systems so that you can work out which one is best suited for you. Now I thought, what better way to showcase this microphone than to come outside into the beautiful Northern Irish countryside for a walk, and there's a bit of a wind today, so you really should get a real-world example of how this little microphone sounds. Now you might recognize this area from many of my videos. I'm here quite a lot. It's a place called Murlock Bay, and they actually used to mine coal and later limestone here from the 1600s to around 1950. And if you spend enough time exploring here, you can find remnants of that old industry. In fact, just behind me here, if I turn the camera around, you can see two now abandoned adit entrances. Now, I believe adits are horizontal mine shafts or entrances to the mines. Obviously, since these have been long since abandoned, they are gated up and unsafe. And to be honest, they creep me out a little bit. I find them very cool, but they do creep me out a little bit. Now, seeing as it's called the Mic Mini, let's start with the size. And when you compare the transmitter to the Mic 2 transmitters, you can see they're much smaller. It's around half the size. And it's the same story for the receiver and the charging case, both a good bit smaller. Now, if you're packing this system to take with you on your adventures, the Mic Mini also has a big benefit in being that the charging case can now actually close down with the two windshields attached to the transmitter. And there's also a space for the TRS cable. So everything you need can be packed inside that charging case. Whereas with the Mic 2 charging case, unfortunately, the lid won't actually shut if you have the windshields attached. Plus, there's no space for the TRS cable. Now, the way DJI gets around this is they supply a carrying case with the system. But in my opinion, this is overkill because the case is much larger than it needs to be to hold two windshields and a few cables. And because of this, if you are packing the system, the Mic 2 takes up a larger footprint. Now, looking at the Mic Mini receiver, you can see it looks quite different. And that's because it doesn't have the OLED display that the DJI Mic 2 receiver has. But you can still adjust the gain by using this handy dial on the side. Now, just like the DJI Mic 2, there are two colors available. This infinity black color and a white version, which DJI is calling Arctic White. So if you wear a lot of white, that might be a better option to help it blend in. Now, something I'm personally happy about is that unlike the Mic 2, these new transmitters aren't transparent and have a less glossy finish, which in my opinion helps them be less noticeable when they're attached to you. Now, if you want your transmitter to be even more discreet, then this is where we encounter the first drawback of the Mic Mini. You see, with the Mic 2 transmitter, because it has a TRS input, you can actually attach a lavalier mic. But the Mic Mini transmitter has no TRS input, meaning you can't attach a lavalier mic. Also, speaking of accessories, if you use the camera adapter with the Mic 2 receiver, this is also not compatible with the Mic Mini receiver. Now, just like the Mic 2, you can pick up the Mic Mini as a combo with two transmitters, one receiver and the charging case, or just pick up the individual transmitters, which will be a great option if you want to use it with something like the DJI Action 5 Pro or Pocket 3, and we'll get onto that shortly. And something that is new is if you do only pick up the transmitter, you get this really nice little charging dock. Now, before moving on, if you're getting value from this video, please let me know by giving me the thumbs up and clicking that like button down below. And if you love all things camera gear, such as drones, action cameras, gimbals and more, and you want to learn about the best settings to get up and running quickly, along with tips and tricks to help you get more cinematic videos and better looking images with your gear, then please consider clicking that subscribe button down below. And when you're down there, be sure to check the notification bell so that you will be alerted when my new videos are released. It would be greatly appreciated. Now, speaking of charging, let's talk about battery life. Now the Mic Mini transmitter, despite its smaller size, actually has a longer runtime of around 11.5 hours, which is plenty for a full day's recording, compared to the 6-hour runtime on the DJI Mic 2 transmitter. And for the receivers, the Mic Mini receiver has a stated operating time of 10.5 hours, compared to the Mic 2 receiver's runtime of 6 hours. However, it is worth remembering that the charging case can also store power. So if you're outside filming and your transmitter or receiver runs out of power, you can actually just insert it back into the charging case, and the charging case itself will charge them devices back up until the power within the charging case becomes fully depleted. Now, if you're in a rush, a really nice benefit of the Mic Mini system is if you plug the charging case with the receivers and transmitter inside into a power source, 5 minutes of charge time equates to 1 hour of operating time. So this will be really handy if you're in a hurry. Now, when it comes to the max transmission range, on paper and quite surprisingly, the Mic Mini comes out on top with a longer max transmission range. However, that's on paper. In my experience, in the real world, you will probably experience transmission cutouts long before these max transmission ranges, especially if you have your back to the camera. So let's do a real world transmission test. This is the DJI Mic 2 at 20 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the Mic Mini at 20 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the DJI Mic 2 at 40 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the Mic Mini at 40 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the DJI Mic 2 at 80 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the Mic Mini at 80 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the DJI Mic 2 at 100 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the Mic Mini at 100 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something I've just realized is that the magnets that hold the transmitter on seem to be much stronger for the Mic Mini. I've got quite a thick jacket on, and the Mic 2 magnets won't actually hold it through my jacket, it just falls off. Whereas the Mic Mini stays nice and secure. So this might be relevant if you normally wear thicker clothing. Now, if you are planning to do a recording where you know you're going to get really far away from the camera, or you know you're going to be passing behind obstacles, and you're worried about transmission cutouts and that affecting the audio quality, then this is where the Mic 2 has a big benefit. And that's because the Mic 2 system actually has 32-bit float internal recording. Unfortunately, the Mic Mini has no internal recording. So this is arguably the biggest drawback of the new Mic Mini. You cannot do an internal recording on that system. So with the Mic 2, all you do is press this little red record button here until the recording light turns on. And now you will know that no matter what happens, you will still have a clean audio track saved to the internal storage of the transmitter. Now, when it comes to connecting the Mic Mini to whatever device you are using, it's all very familiar. Firstly, you can use the TRS to TRS cable to attach the receiver to something like your camera, or you can use the Type-C adapter attached to the receiver to attach it to your mobile. But without a doubt, the biggest benefit to the DJI mic systems is their Bluetooth connectivity to their other devices. Meaning that if you're using something like the DJI Action 5 Pro or Pocket 3, you won't need to use the receiver, as you can connect the transmitters directly to them devices. So for example, using the Pocket 3, if you swipe down from the top to open up the main menu, select the settings icon and then tap into wireless mic, you will see TX1 and TX2. So you can actually pair two transmitters to the Pocket 3 at the same time, but we just want to connect one. So let's press TX1, and then all you have to do is press and hold the link button on the Mic Mini transmitter, and after a few seconds, it will be connected. Couldn't be simpler. What I will recommend, however, is once you have the Mic Mini transmitter connected this way, you go in and increase the gain, as by default I find it to be a little bit too quiet. However, once you have paired the transmitter this way, another nice feature is the fact that you can start or stop a recording by pressing the link button on the transmitter itself. And this is so handy. If you are in front of the camera, it means you don't need to keep going back up to it and pressing the record button on the device. Now, I just wanted to do a quick comparison to let you hear the differences between these two microphones, the Mic Mini and the Mic 2, but I'm curious, which one do you think sounds best? Drop a comment down below with your thoughts. Now, I just wanted to do a quick comparison between these two microphones, the Mic Mini and the Mic 2, but I'm curious, let me know your thoughts. Which one do you think sounds best? Drop a comment down below. Also, the Mic Mini has a great safety feature that will help prevent audio clipping. So if you're recording and you start to talk really loud or enter a really noisy area, the volume will be automatically lowered to avoid clipping. So as you can see and hear, I've now come to somewhere with a bit more ambient background noise because I want to talk about noise cancellation. Now, noise cancellation is nothing new. The DJI Mic 2 has it, for example. But if I'm being honest, I never really use it. Although it does a great job of removing that ambient background noise, it also adds quite a bit of nasty distortion to your voice. And because of that, I just don't use it. But this is an area where the new Mic Mini actually trumps the Mic 2 again. Because with the Mic Mini, you have 2 levels of active noise cancellation. So you can decide just how much noise cancellation you want, and therefore how much distortion you want to introduce to the audio. Now, the way you turn this on is if you have your Mic Mini paired to a device such as the Pocket 3, you can simply turn it on in the settings, or you can press the power button on the side of the Mic Mini. Now, once you see a yellow light turn on the side of the transmitter, you will know noise cancellation is enabled. Now, right now you're hearing the basic noise cancellation mode, so that's the least aggressive of the 2 settings. This is more suited for indoor environments with little background noise, so you will hear it's only removing some of that background noise, but in doing so, it's also adding less distortion. Personally, this is the mode I would use. Okay, so I've just switched to the higher of the 2 noise cancellation settings, and this one's called Strong. So as you can hear, this is removing more of that background ambient noise, but in doing so, it is adding more distortion. Now let me just turn it back off so you can hear what it sounds like with no noise cancellation again. Now, at the time I tested this microphone, I will say the only quirk I have found about this new feature is that it requires you to use the receiver. To change between these 2 noise cancellation settings, you have to pair the receiver to the DJI Mimo app on your smartphone, and then you can go into the settings and change between these 2 modes. But this requires you to then use the receiver when you're recording audio. So this will be fine if you have the receiver plugged into your camera, for example. But if you have the transmitter paired through Bluetooth to something like your Pocket 3 and you're not using the receiver, you can't actually choose between these 2 modes. You either have on or off. I'm not sure why that is. I think that's probably something DJI will fix in the future, but I just wanted to let you know about it, especially if you were only picking up the transmitter only. So that's everything you need to know about the new DJI Mic Mini. And I put a link in the description down below where you can find out more about it. Now, I'd love to know your feedback on this new casual style of video. I've realized recently I've been setting too high expectations on myself, and my perfectionism has got out of control. And what that means is I'm just spending too long on each individual video, and I'm not getting them out quick enough for you guys. So in a bid to fix that, I'm trying to lower them expectations on myself, worry less about each shot, stop trying to get hundreds and hundreds of B-roll clips in each video, and spend slightly less time editing. But I don't know, let me know what you think. Also, if you've liked this video and you've learned something new, I'd really appreciate it if you give me the thumbs up and click that like button down below. And if you love all things camera gear, such as drones, action cameras, gimbals, and more, and want to know how to get better images and more cinematic videos with your gear, then I recommend you check out my channel where I have a ton of other content to help you level up your game. If you don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos, then please consider clicking that subscribe button down below. And when you're down there, be sure to check the notification bell so that you will be alerted when my new videos are released. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to stick around and watch a few more now, here's a few I personally recommend. I'll not keep you back any further. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you over there.